Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Game Development Club. Welcome to the spring semester. I'm glad you're all here. Welcome to the spring semester. I'm glad you're all here. All right. So for those of you who are new, those of you who are returning, our goal is to teach everyone how to make games and also teach everyone about the industry as a whole. Our club wants to promote a creative space where you can sort of learn any aspect of the game development process, whether it's programming, art, music, story writing, or more. We did receive some questions. I just added this as the last point. You don't need to attend every meeting to be considered part of the club. We'll go more into that in a bit. So we do have a membership. There's two different forms of it. We have the free membership, which is you just show up to the meetings, you're part of the game projects and all of that. And we also have a VIP membership. For this semester, it will be $15. Benefits, you get a free shirt. Also, for anyone who paid for the year-long membership last year but did not claim their free shirt, we have it right here. Shirt design, sorry, it's a bit wrinkly. Shirt here, and then backside, that's where our shirt is. And then priority and discount for club trips, studio tours, and socials. We'll be going more over this in a bit. You'll also get a stole if you're graduating this semester. We'll have a stole form either this meeting or the next. And then you'll also be eligible to run for board next year. If you're interested in a VIP membership, you could talk to me or Melvin, our treasurer, later on. And we're going to reintroduce ourselves as the board and officers. So I'm Lawrence Garcia. I'm the president. I'm a third-year computer science major, and I also use a lot of Blender. I love Appleton. It's from Sword and Shield. It's like a little apple pie Pokemon. Yeah. I'm horribly addicted to Apex Legends, Overwatch 2, and roguelikes, and I love Kid Icarus Uprising. Okay, we can skip that.
Okay, so unfortunately Enzo isn't here today, but he is one of our vice presidents. He is a fourth-year computer science major, and this is last semester. He's also our Git king. He made our GitHub tutorial on YouTube, which is one of our most viewed videos, by the way. My name is Janista. I'm the other vice president. I am a third-year computer science major. I love frogs. I have a Minecraft frog there. And I also really like RPGs.
And our secretary isn't here right now. She's at another meeting. This is Isabella, third-year computer science major. She's a Mercy main on Overwatch and loves tabletop RPGs.
I'm Melvin. I'm the treasurer. I just became treasurer this semester. Last semester, I was the science council rep. And I'm still just in my second year as a CS major. And the rest of the board is keeping me here and turning me into one of them. And I love Ace Attorney.
Christopher? Yeah.
I'm Christopher Gomez. I'm the PR director. I like good games. I don't like bad games.
I'm Alex Gomez. I'm the historian, fourth-year CS major. I like Metroidvanias, and I'm going to like Silksong if it ever comes out.
Despite their names, despite them being on the same,
related.
they're not related. That just happened to be like that. All right, Kian.
Howdy, I'm Kian Nguyen. I'm the video editor for this club, and I enjoy playing Splatoon and fighting games.
Hello. I'm Sam. I'm the current Web Master, but I was also the previous president last year. I'm a current fourth-year CS major. I also have a minor in studio arts. I'm a very casual Valorant player, and I'm a base Godot-only user. That's going to change soon. I was hiding under the desk, and I will hide under the desk right now.
Hi, I'm Miguel Valente. I'm your current social chair and your now and forever princess. I'm a third-year CS major, and I'm perfectly in Overwatch Fire Emblem, and I'm not overly obsessed with the series. I'm also a mediocre casual speedrunner. I love the Metroid games, and I eventually will learn the speedrun route for Hollow Knights.
Okay, so this semester, we had a survey and we reviewed our feedback from last semester. So we're going to be implementing some changes into the club to try and help with the feedback. And one of the things we wanted to work on the most was that people said that they felt like they didn't really know what to do, and they didn't really have a sense of direction in their game pitch teams. So this semester, we are focusing more on supporting our teams in their growth and development. And we want to add more activities to our meetings to help club members get to know each other, and also just become more motivated and get to know each other, and be more motivated to work together in teams. And we've also revamped the game pitch system to better support our teams. So this semester, we're gonna have sort of like a mentor system to our game pitches, and each team will be assigned a mentor to help the team lead. So before whoever pitches a game, before they pitch their game and present it, they'll meet up with their mentor to, and this mentor will pretty much just give them advice to help them scope their game and also present it to the club. And the mentor will also oversee progress throughout the semester by joining team meetings and offering advice to the team leads.
All right, so now we'll go over the events that we'll have for this semester. So first up, we're going to be having some guest speakers. As of right now, we have 3 planned, but we will be trying to get some more. Some of our schedule is still open. Each guest speaker will be talking about a different aspect of game development. So first up, we have Sony Santa Monica Studio. They will be coming next week, actually, on Tuesday, February 7th. And then aside from that, we'll also have Kyle Turchik. He is one of the club's previous presidents and founders. He is currently a senior technical UI designer at High Moon Studios, and he will be talking about project management, which will be very useful for you guys working on your game pitches or any other projects. He will be coming the week after next week on February 14th. And then our third guest speaker is Dr. Egger. He is a professor here at CPP. He is the one hosting the VR Project Garage. Some people are doing their senior projects there. He also taught a course on game AI last semester. He specializes in researching game AI, and that will be what he will be speaking about on March 7th. So we are very excited to announce that we'll also be having a studio tour this summer on May 31st. However, attendance is very limited, so unfortunately we can't bring everyone as much as we would like to, but we'll be releasing more info about that later on in the semester. We'll also be having our Friday workshops as per usual. We'll cover a lot of different topics from game engines to scripting and how to improve your game and all sorts of other things. If you can't attend, we will be recording the workshops and they will be posted on YouTube. They will be online and in person, and the format may vary depending on the type of workshop, but generally they will be online and in person at 3 p.m. in Building 6, Room 113. We'll also continue to have socials and game nights. Our first game night will be this Friday, February 3rd on Discord. Some other events we'll be having is we'll be a part of the California Collegiate Game Jam sometime this semester. It is a game jam we were part of last year that a lot of game dev clubs from different universities, such as the UCs and other Cal States, were a part of. It is a part of SGDA, the Student Game Developer Alliance. We're trying to sort that out, and hopefully it will be sometime in April. We're also going to be trying to have a Mario movie social once that releases, but we'll be sorting that out. We'll also be having graduation stole orders for seniors who are graduating this year. If you would like one, we'll be having a form. It should be sent out in the meeting general chat or in announcements later. If you're a paid member, you'll actually get yours for free. If you're not, the stole is $25, and the image over there is what it'll look like. I don't know how good the quality is on the screen, but. And then this semester is when we'll also be having our e-board elections. The info meeting will be on March 14th, and the actual elections will be the week after that, on March 21st. Of course, we'll explain more what each of the roles are later, but right now the positions that will be available for the election are President, Vice President, Treasurer, and Secretary.
Discord. All right. While those are some of the events we have planned and listed, there's still more that we may have later on. Those are just the ones that we have confirmed dates for, or at least like time ranges on. So now we're going to go over the game pitches. For those of you who are new, the game pitches are essentially our semester-long project. You get to either lead or be part of a game development team to help create a game over the course of a semester. You don't need any prior experience to join a game pitch. And if you have an idea for the game, sorry, can someone mute? All right. Yeah. If you have an idea for a game, for a game pitch to the club, you could present it to the club on February 21st during U Hour. We'll go into more details as to what the game pitches are. So this is usually the video that we like to show of like what we call the minimum viable product, which is what your game pitch is. Because realistically, you're not going to be making Elden Ring or a Call of Duty in a semester. If you do, that's crazy, and you'll get hired immediately. But yeah, so this is what ideally what we try to aim for.
During the last 2 episodes, we've stressed how important it is to make your first game something small. But this is so important that this time we're going to dedicate the entire episode to it. This will serve you in good stead, not only when you're creating your first game, but also when prototyping for anything else you do. In development, there's a term called minimum viable product, which refers to the smallest thing you can possibly make that'll still give you useful data once released. That should be your goal. Even when James is called in to work on a multi-million-dollar project that has a development time of 3 years, one of the first things he'll tell them is that if they don't have a prototype up in the first 3 weeks, they're doing it wrong. When you can actually play your game, you'll discover all sorts of things that you didn't account for when you were just designing the game in your head. You'll find edge cases where your mechanics are broken, or places where your game just falls apart. You'll find what's really engaging rather than just trying to build something that you hope is engaging. And you'll discover what will add the most to the experience you're creating. Okay, so you've heard me say cut and cut and cut, and that when you think you're done cutting, you're probably not done cutting. But you do have to stop cutting sometime. So how do we determine when we're down to that minimum viable product? Well, this one is a bit tough, and you're going to get better at it with experience, but the basic idea is to find the absolute minimum set of features that won't affect core development. If you can cut a feature and still technically ship your game, it's probably not part of your minimum viable product. But because this is as much an art as it is a science, let's run through some examples so we're all on the same footing. Let's start with Super Mario Bros. What do we need in order to test if the fundamental gameplay of Super Mario Bros. Is engaging? What's the minimum that we can build and test before deciding if what we have is something worth expanding upon with additional features? Well, do we need Koopas? No. Fire flowers? Nope. Bowser? Nope. Pipes that you can climb down? No. Pipes at all? No. Water levels, mushrooms, hidden blocks, extra lives? No. So what do we need? Well, for Mario, the minimum viable product is probably one level where you can move, jump, and fall into pits. That's it. If just that much is engaging, you'll be able to add all those other features later and make it even better. But if running along and jumping over pits doesn't feel good, Super Mario Bros. Simply doesn't work, no matter how many extra features you throw in. So you've got to make sure that that core is working first. Although, in this particular case, I'd probably throw in 2 other features that aren't strictly necessary, but they will make a big difference. First, a trigger which resets the level if the player falls into the pit, just so testing is easier, and to make sure that this aspect isn't just unpalatable to players. And second, the ability to change from walking to running, since the Mario jump mechanic is so dependent on the run button. But that's it. 1 level, 3 features, and you've got a game. Don't believe something this simple could be engaging? Well, set the character to auto-run, and you've basically built Cannibalt. When building your first game, or prototyping a larger one, you'll find that you can strip out all of the content, all of the things that aren't rules that control the play itself, but rather elements that are created out of those rules. So enemy types, levels, different weapons, all of that can usually get cut. You might want to include one thing from each category just to test the larger rules, but no more than that, because it's really easy to get mired down in making all of that content. And the truth is, games with lots of content but without a solid foundation are rarely good. Perhaps worse, as a creator, when your game's packed with content, it's generally harder to figure out why the foundation's not working. If you test your prototype with a lot of content thrown in, it'll be harder for players to put their fingers on exactly what it is that needs improvement, as all of that content just clutters what's wrong. And they'll be more likely to tell you about bad pieces of content rather than the underlying reasons why that content didn't create a positive experience. It just adds complexity in a situation where you really need to be honing your game's core foundation. Okay, so let's try another one. Old school JRPGs. Now this one can fool people because most designers tend to think of these games in terms of content rather than gameplay. It's easy to get caught up in the story you want to tell or the massive lists of items and enemies. But if the player has to slog through 80 hours of weak gameplay in order to access that story you've got in mind, you've done your player a disservice. In fact, that's some of what's contributed to the decline in the popularity of traditional JRPGs this decade. So take a game like Final Fantasy IV. Here, I would cut everything but the menu-based combat system. I would even cut out all the graphics. Monsters can just be words on the screen. That's really all you need to test the system. Now, many of you might object, saying, but that doesn't work. I can't make it that engaging without the content. This is actually great, though. It immediately tells us that we should probably find a more robust system. All right, let's try one more. This time, let's look at Ikaruga. Here, we could probably cut down to the color switching mechanic, an enemy which switches color randomly and shoots random bullet patterns, or maybe randomly chooses from a small list of pre-built bullet patterns, as that wouldn't be too hard to construct. Also, you'll need the ability for the player to move and to shoot, a counter which ticks upward as you shoot the enemy, and a death mechanic that simply resets the game when the player gets hit. This will get you all the player behavior you need to find out if your game's engaging. Your players will try to dodge and shoot the enemy while attempting to take advantage of the color swapping system as much as possible. That's all you need. Hopefully, that helps you frame your thinking about just how small your first project should be. Now I'm going to give you a quick and dirty list of game genres, ordered by how difficult they are to create a minimum viable product for. And this is only going to apply to digital games. Some of these genres are actually much easier to build pen and paper or board games for. Also, this list isn't by any means absolute. As game engines change, this list is going to become outdated, but it should give you a place to start at least. So, game genres in order of difficulty to produce a minimum viable product, from simplest to most difficult. Racing game, top-down shooter, 2D platformer, color-matching puzzle game, 2D puzzle platformer, 3D platformer, FPS, JRPG, fighting game, action-adventure, Western RPG, RTS. I'm leaving out point-and-click adventure games here, as those games are entirely built out of content. So while getting a point-and-click game up and running is relatively easy, getting anything together that'll actually tell you if you're onto something engaging is a lot harder. You'll notice I'm also leaving out anything networked or multiplayer, as that generally multiplies the complexity. Honestly, I would just recommend avoiding multiplayer stuff entirely for your first game. And again, don't think of these genres in terms of the games you know. When I say racing game, don't think Gran Turismo. Think two gray blocks on a black background with acceleration and collision mechanics. That is all you need to hit that minimum viable product or prototype stage, where you can really start to get it out there and play it and learn what's needed to improve it. You can always build from there later and add more cool features, but your game will be better off for having spent the time testing and refining the foundation of your game idea. This is way more productive than dreaming up a project which is far too big to ever tackle. Hopefully that helps you decide where to start and how far to scope down. Join us on the next episode for what to do once you're done with your game. See you then.
All right, so that was the basics on what a minimum viable product is, sort of like getting the game created. For us, we go a little bit with the extra step, and you could add like all the art assets and all the music and stuff depending on who's on your team. And then we actually have some examples from, give me a second. We actually have some examples from last semester from our minimum viable products here. So this is Circle of Growth. It's a platformer where instead of the focus being on jumping up and down, focus is more on like growing and shrinking yourself to help grow and shrink the plants around you. This is Love Quest. This is like a, I guess like more like a JRPG, where also like kind of relationship or dating simulator on toxic relationships. And this is Demons and Drum Machines. This is a sort of like a music creator game where you get to create your own music with different sound elements, stuff like that. And this is Planetary Pursuits. This is a dating simulator where you get to date planets, the personified planets. Sam, are they planets or personified planets?
You have to play the game to find out.
Theodore could be a planet.
And then this is Spell Stew. I forgot the genre. Tower Defense, yeah. I was gonna say balloons, but yeah. So yeah, so it's a tower defense game. And then this is Beat Shot, a rhythm game, top-down shooter. I'm bad at rhythm games, I'm sorry. You can see where I panicked at the end. All right. So yeah, those are sort of the games that we've done last semester. We also have a lot of our games hosted on our itch.io page, which I believe I sent on the Discord server, but I'll send it again after the meeting. So you could play all of these games. And then we also have stuff from our game jams and from previous semesters up until like 2020. And then, yeah. All right. So the game pitches will be due on February 17th. I know we said that you could present them on February 21st. However, we want to have this time to sort of like help scope the games if needed. Most of the games usually don't need the scoping, but we'll just meet with you just to sort of see like how the game is and what to further any plans or elaborate on anything that is needed. And then, as I said, games should have a minimum viable product, but we also want to emphasize that there's no pressure to finish these games by the end of the semester. In the end, this is just a club. Your personal life and your education comes first. So if anything like that gets in the way, don't worry, there's no pressure to finish the game. This also makes a great addition to resumes, even if you're not specifically going into the games industry. It shows that you have like initiative to sort of create your own project, even if it's not programming, if it's like art or something, you're still involved with creating a project that you worked on. And then we want to also emphasize, sort of reiterate what we said with our mentorship thing. Pitching a game is sort of a responsibility, but we will help you along that process. Our goal with the mentor and producer program is to help guide you through leading a game pitch. That way, sort of, you have a direction on where to go, and you know, sort of how to get started and continue on with the steps throughout the game pitch process. And then, if you guys want an example of 2 game pitches, I can briefly run through some of the game pitches I did during my time as president. Or not during my time as president, just during my time in the club. So this was the first game I pitched. This is Zombie Containment Game. It is a first-person shooter and roguelike, and I worked with Jonah on this. So, we sort of give like the overarching idea of what the game is. Really, like in order to sort of get the pitch in, we sort of just like wrote about the setting. Then we talked about like the power-ups to make the character stronger, and the buildings. You move from one level to the next. If you make it through all the buildings, you survive. We ended up not putting in these two things in. We ended up changing it more to like a labyrinth, like a maze sort of thing. And then we also put down some games that inspired us to do this thing, to do this game. So Enter the Gungeon, Risk of Rain 2, and Doom Eternal. We wanted the boomer shooter elements from Doom, along with some of like the randomness from Enter the Gungeon and Risk of Rain 2. And then this is the part where just because you pitched it doesn't mean it has to go into the final product. We talked about like the map that we wanted to do, like different buildings that lead into smaller rooms. We ended up ditching the whole like post-apocalypse city idea, and we ended up going with more of like a tightly contained like labyrinth. Yeah. And then raining power-ups. We talked about the different power-ups that we wanted to have for the game. That includes like damage boost, health boost, reload speed, and accuracy. Not all of these power-ups made it into the game, but it's sort of just like a general idea to give people like sort of an idea for what we wanted. And then we talked about the goals for the pitch. So this is like, I guess like what your MVP would be, sort of functional building and hub level design. That didn't end up happening. We did get the first person shooting, the collectible power-ups, and the enemy design working. And then we also discussed team size. So for the team size, we decided like, you don't have to be exact with this. We had more members than what we were expecting with here. 3 programmers, 2 animators, and then 3 modelers, and a musician. And then that's sort of like a base game pitch. It is missing some things, so we can go over that really quickly with this one. So this was my second game pitch to the club. And for those of you who don't know, I basically, you could also like sort of, like I guess like make your pitch sort of like comedic, sort of like make it your own personality. So I named the top like human achievements, and then I asked a member, I consider We Play Tanks the peak of like human gaming. So I wanted to remake We Play Tanks. So why this game? I can sort of give my personal reason as to why. You don't have to delve on this too much. Just sort of like funny. And then games that inspired me. I talk about like the sort of the modern version that Nintendo made, and then top-down shooters again with Enter the Gungeon, and then of course the We Play Tanks itself. And then here with the goals and the MVP, we wanted to sort of break down the game into like its pure elements. Mostly like to consider itself the pure elements would be that second point right there, the top-down shooting. But then we sort of wanted to sort of stylize it, like how, like what about a top-down shooter? Because there's different types of top-down shooters. So like a slower, more strategic feel, different tanks, hopefully, and then a functioning level select, and then that last point, I don't know why it's there. And then sort of the 3D toy-like look. And then this is sort of like if we have more time, we added like these different things. So like maybe a score counter, which we ended up adding. New enemy types, we didn't end up doing. Maybe power-ups, we didn't end up doing that. Local co-op, we have like, I think we have like code for that, but we never actually implemented it. And then wait. Yeah. All right, so, and then I also talk about like what game engine I want to use, Unity, and then the Blender was for Blender 3D modeling. I thought it was funny at the time. Thank you. And then for a team, I didn't really go into like very strict numbers this time. I went more into like what you want to do, and then like, is this like more of a beginner-friendly project, that sort of thing. So yeah, those are examples of 2 game pitches. We also have some more game pitch presentations. If you look in the server, sorry, it is cluttered on here. If you go to our game pitches, you can see all of the projects with their original pitch and what they ended up finishing by the time we have our game pitches due. So it's really cool to see sort of the progress of like how, like what they originally envisioned for the game, and then what ended up actually happening. So I know we threw a bunch of dates and information at you for the game pitches, so I just wanted to make a timeline sort of for how the game pitches are. So February 17th, that should be a Friday by midnight, or like by 11:59 p.m. Game pitches ideas are due, and you get to meet, and you'll meet with your mentor sometime either before that or during that weekend. The game pitches will happen on February 21st, so that's about 3 weeks from now, I think. Yeah, 3 weeks from now, that's when the game pitches itself will happen. These 3 steps, you'll sort of meet with your teams, work on the game, and then export the game for the club to play. And then the games themselves are going to be due on May 5th. May 5th is our big banquet where you get to present the game that you made, and then we sort of just like have a good time, eat food, and all of that. Yeah. And then thank you for listening. Let me actually clarify a few things. So for those of you who are interested in the game pitch, we sent a bunch of links up here. Yeah, so we sent a bunch of links up here. How many of you guys are new to the club this semester? Raise your hand. Oh, wow, that's a good amount. Wow. Okay. If you're new to the club, please fill out the spring membership form. And then if you're for now, if you don't want to do the VIP membership, you could just put general club member. And then if you're interested in the VIP membership later on, you could just come talk to us about it, and then we'll get that fixed up for you. And then please, everyone, please fill in the sign-in sheet that's up here. Yeah, the sign-in sheet. And then if you're interested in the game pitch, we have the form for it right here. I'll send in another announcement reiterating what the important forms are. And then this semester, we're going to be reusing our MyBar. Just curious, everyone raise your hand if you are aware of MyBar, what MyBar is, or if you've used it. MyBar is useless. All right. So the school really wants us to use MyBar, and then that's technically how we get our membership numbers. But yeah, I'm gonna have you guys sign up for a MyBar as well, just because that's what the school wants. If there's any problems with the MyBar link, just you can message me. I'm the guy who has like a weird. My profile picture makes no sense at that timing, but basically just look for a guy named Lawrence. Then you can message me. And then just sign up on there through MyBar. It will say that you're pending approval, but I'll accept it immediately. Like, you don't need to message me, oh, I signed up for MyBar. I'll just accept whoever signs up on there. And then if you're graduating this semester, we have a Stoles form right here for your Stoles. And if you'd like to check out any of the games that we've worked on this semester or previous semesters, you can check out the link right here, cppgdc.itch.io. All right, that was a lot of information. Are there any questions? Yes.
Will this presentation also be on the Discord if you missed the beginning part?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. If you missed a meeting or if you want to check another meeting, we actually record all of our meetings and then we post them on our YouTube channel as well. So I think we could place the slides as well with them. And then if you go to meeting videos right here, I know we've been a bit slow last semester, but we had some issues with that. But hopefully this should be out by maybe tonight or tomorrow. But yeah, so you can check out all of our previous workshops and videos right here. Yeah. Any other questions? All right, cool. Yeah, thank you all for coming to the first meeting. We hope to see you continue on over the semester. Thank you very much, everyone.